Welcome to Old Stuff Show. I'm excited about today's show. We've got a lot of interesting items, and I'm entitling the show Odds and Ends, Advertising Collectibles. Today, advertising is one of the biggest businesses, and it has been out throughout the decades. And what they were looking for were mass markets, easy ways to reach a lot of people, and with the simplest things in many cases. So what I'm showing you today is just a potpourri of items that I've put together. Simplest everyday items, and they become quite collectible today actually. So if you think back to travel in the old days, the gas stations often gave out maps free, and this became the important item in every car to find your way from point A to B. And it was SO, in this case, advertising, an easy target market to keep people on their way from the gas station as they filled up. And a lot of these become very collectible, especially for gas station items that like keychains and all kinds of things like that. And the ones that are no longer around, the old Supertest gas stations, Fina gas station, that type of thing, becomes quite a collectible item today. Also, in the beer area, I mentioned in an earlier program the attempt by people to find old beer trays, and they are hard to find. This is the kind of thing they're looking for. It's this one is called Valley Forge Beer and Ram's Head Ale, and it's about a $35 item. Quite interesting. So if you see any of these out and about, you know that it's a rare item and something to latch on to. Another thing in pure advertising are the ads that were put into the old general stores. Like this one here with the old blanket ads. It had a little thing on the back. You could stand it up free on the counter of the store, and it would advertise the blankets. And it's an attractive advertising piece that people would like to have if they're collecting that type of thing. Simple things like advertising for the lemons in the store, or advertising for the bananas in the store, ice cream. The tin signs are actually very collectible. This is California iceberg lettuce. This is very, very nice piece, tin and in great shape, and interesting to look at. So the king pelican, this would command maybe at least $50, I would think. Also, we have here Sunkist. Sunkist was a big advertiser in those days, and this is again something that would be on the wall of the corner store. And butternut bread. That was a fairly popular item in the 30s, 40s, and would have a prominent place in a store. So those are nice, in good condition, and nice pieces for the advertising collector. Of course, told you often about the Coca-Cola. I mean, that's a mass advertiser right there, but they would put their name on just about anything they could, and it became kind of a special advertising piece in terms of the tin. Coke also would on their bottles put advertising on their caps, and then to encourage people to buy as many as they could, they would put the hockey players on the cap, and in this case I think there were something like 80 coins or caps rather that you could collect. In this case, it's Paul Henderson, who is well known as the Team Canada '82 winning goal scoring player. So Coke would take advantage of that. Also in sports, on cereal boxes, like this is Post cereal. This was cut out from the back of a cereal box, and this is a CFL player, and they would have a whole set of these, and of course you'd want to collect a whole bunch of them. This is number 74 in that particular series. Hotels and motels, that was a big business, and especially in the 50s. So this one is just a simple picture of the motel, and people would buy that to show where they stayed, and then show other people where they could go to if they were in the area. This one is Erie Beach, Port Dover, Ontario. In terms of traveling, one of the real desirable collectibles are old felt pennants, and this would be right out of the 50s. And if you went somewhere like Niagara Falls, for example, you would want to pick one of these up, and often young people would have them on their bedroom walls. But it is also an easy form of advertising for that particular area. And this is a really nice one. A lot of the Canadian symbolism, the beaver, would be on these, or the RCMP officer, that type of thing, from Regina. Felt. This would be worth probably around $20. Simple things like the old yardsticks, used often by people in their job, or have one would be around the house. Again, a form of advertising. This one is a feed company, Miracle Feeds. And this one is a St. Clair painted wallpaper. Again, it was a target market because it was seen everywhere by a lot of different people in the household or on the job site, and an easy way to promote your company. Promotion in terms of collector's cards. Again, this is a very old Singer sewing machine set of birds, and each bird would be described on the back, and people would try to find these and get their whole set. So this is a Singer sewing machine company, and they advertised their machines through providing these as collectibles for people to try and get. The blotters were a really important item for people in the old days, using ballpoint or ink pens, and so the blotter, because it was so readily available and needed with the ink pens. Here's one, kind of a neat one for an ambulance company. Coke used to have blotters out in huge numbers, and these were used at schools, they were used at work, they were used everywhere because they were needed. This is a little baby spoon, and the advertising on the back is Gerber's, and so Gerber's were promoting their baby food, and so it would be something that people would want to have, and picture of the little baby, the Gerber baby on top of the spoon. Spoon collecting was quite important to a lot of people over those years. This one is a spoon as well, and advertising butter company. It's just, again, a spoon collectible. It's a little different. In terms of everyday kinds of things, this is, if you had this in your kitchen, this is the A&P coffee spoon, where you would measure out your coffee. And again, the name of the store would be on the spoon. I've already mentioned in another show, Jackknives. This is an insurance company, and it would be a good way because a lot of people wanted to have jackknives in their possession. A good way to advertise because it was something people would look at every day. Mentioned too earlier, and there's just unlimited numbers of the old match covers. I have a bag full here, and again, each match cover, because people smoked a lot, had the advertising that would promote the store and or their restaurant or their beer. What ails you? So it's a popular kind of thing being used, and very good target market for the advertisers. Also back to beer, the older the better in these, but the old coasters, again, advertising their beer. Many people would take these home if they were at a bar or something, and they would use them at home, and people would see them that way. This is a very interesting one. It's I think it's General Mills, and it's something called Big G cereal. And these cards, again, and birds were a favorite kind of target. And on the back, the information about the bird and General Mills. And you'd collect these to get your whole set. Collecting sets of everything from sports cards to non-sports cards was very popular in the 50s and 60s. This one is kind of interesting. It's called Historic Canada Picture Contest, and on the other side be photos of historic locations in Canada, and you could win a prize by entering the contest. Political advertising, obviously, that's put out in big numbers every time there's an election. But if you collect and keep certain kinds of significant political items like pins, buttons, and I just put this away. It's an Obama. It's becoming more and more collectible because it's getting older and older, and first black American president. And this is a brochure about his health care plan. But there are people out there that like to collect as much of the political, the older the better kinds of information as they can. Keychains. This particular one is a combination keychain with a lighter and with a flashlight rather, and it's an event that was being advertised in Winnipeg. But keychains are very significant advertising devices. Sports cards I mentioned. On the back of this particular set of hockey cards is advertising from Kellogg's, and it was a police effort to promote prevention of vandalism, and with the help of the team, and cards were issued to do that. And the same thing with automobile company promoting themselves, but also using a hockey player to do that. Here we have an insurance company who simply put out little pictures of scenery, and also calendars were a popular way of promoting advertising, at the same time showing different kinds of scenes or items that of interest that people would like to look at, sports included. So this is just a little bit of the type of everyday collectible that people would look for, and there's a lot of different categories here. But the common theme is advertising, and the mass markets that were used to advertise were those that the big advertisers would latch on to do the job. And so they stick around, and people are looking for them. Blotters, gas station maps, you name it. They like to find it. So all of the categories here that you saw today, each one separately could be a good kind of collectible to get interested in. So that kind of is an odds and ends look at some typical kinds of advertising collectibles. When you're out and about and you're looking at stuff, you can see that there's a theme there that collectors could latch on to. And speaking of being out and about, I've mentioned before that the flea market at Aberfoyle is now open. It's safe, and it's just off of Highway 401. You take the 6 South exit and go north on that, about 5 minutes north, and you come to the flea market. It's one of the oldest and one of the biggest in this part of the country. And I'm in booth 38, 39, 40. If you happen to be able to get there, say hello. Again, a reminder that every Friday a new video is put on YouTube, and we've covered a lot of ground so far, a lot of different topics, and each one is being supported by a lot of interesting collectibles. So hope you're enjoying that, and have a look every week, and appreciate your subscription, and also happy collecting. Get out there and find some stuff for yourself, and it's a great way to put in some time and enjoy it at the same time. So happy collecting, and we'll see you next time.